So, what's the crack with all this anyway? What are we doing here? In this crazy, fun, sad, terrific, horrifying world that we exist in. What are we doing here? What is all this about? Those questions genuinely matter and interest some of us. And it's worth contemplating, you know? For me, I have come to the realization that we are here to love. We are here to find out the parts of us that are unconscious, that we are unaware of, become aware of them, therefore transcending them, and coming into more union with the one true divine nature that is us all. What qualifies me to have these opinions? What would I know? Who am I? Well, ever since I can remember, ever since I was young, I was different than everyone around me. I remember when I was amongst my cousins, family members, playing games, 5 and 6 years old. I remember wondering why, or observing their incessant ramblings and behaviors. Why were they so driven to do the things they were doing? I was not driven to do any of what I noticed with my cousins, my brother, and so on and so forth. I would wonder why they would act the way they would act, or have their strong opinions about me. No, I want, do this, let's do this. I was really there watching amongst them, very present, but just watching. Why? Why did they do that? Why are they acting like that? What is for them? What makes them want to do that, be that way, or do those things? What is the driving thing that wants them to do that? Nothing like that was ever important to me. I also wondered how they knew what to do. It looked like everybody had a place. It looked like everybody had something going on, you know, and I would wonder, where'd they get that from? You know, I didn't have any of that. I remember growing up and just wanting a place. I felt like I wasn't taught a way to be. I was aware of everything that was said to me. I was aware of the rules I was supposed to follow, even though I would forget because nothing was important to me in that way. What was important to me was to have manners, was to eat when I was hungry, and was to be, you know, to be a good representation of myself, like to make the right decisions. I would contemplate, I would look and see and hope to make the right one, because I would see there was a right and a wrong. But to me, deeply, I didn't know what was right and wrong, and I wished to know, even when it came to studying in school. I had page numbers, but I didn't know what I should study. You know, nothing felt like it was doing me any good, we will say. As I grew up through school, I was definitely an outsider because I didn't have this identity that everybody seems so comfortable in, driven by, and smoothly operating with, I guess. I didn't have that, you know, and I wondered how they had it. Where did they get it? Obviously, they got it at home from nurturing, loving parents, and they understood to have stock in their personality. It was rewarding. It worked, you know. I had all those things too. I had love. I had great parents, brother, sister, grandparents. I had great experiences. But I always found contradictions in all of it. You know, maybe my grandparents would love me unconditionally. And I would feel like there was nothing wrong. And then I would go outside to my friends and behave the same way. And that was not what was called for, or that was not what was respected, or that was not working. In a nutshell, again, with my parents, there was conditions. They had to raise me. They had to punish me, you know, if I done what I felt, or if the way I couldn't get away with things that I could get away with in my grandparents' house. There was punishment. If I didn't do my homework, I would have to be kept in check for that, and all those things it just didn't seem fair to me because it wasn't what I really wanted to do in deeply, you know. I really didn't know why a lot of these things were going on. So I say all that to say, eventually feeling that outcast way, I guess, it delved me into an outside role. I realized my wit, my comedic value was something people reacted to. So I would play on that. I would be the funny guy when I felt it was my turn to talk or to offer something to a group situation. And moving forward and going on through the years, that whatever was missing, what I felt was missing, judging by the standards of society, everyone had themselves together, so to speak. And I really was bothered about something being missing. So much so that I drank, I drugged, I committed crime, I went to prison, fell out with most that I knew in some way, shape, or form. Only to come and to find out that to be nothing is exactly what I was always supposed to be. And I was am very, very lucky to be so in tune with what is aware. And the worry of not being identified with something properly was all the mind's rhetoric, which caused me a lot of problem and causes a lot of problem to many to this day. And maybe some of you who suffer with the mind are watching this now. And my advice to you is to tune into what is aware of your mind, of your thoughts, of the I that is you, the James, the Peter, the Paul, the Marie, the Amanda. Whatever your name may be, whatever this I is, something is aware of that. That is who you truly are. And you are going through what you are going through in order to become aware of it, love it, and get past it for the betterment of us all. You see, I've come to understand we are the divine self, God, Supreme, Mother Nature, love. We are all of that, incarnated as these individual bodies, lumps of flesh, in order to remember that we are one divine, loving Mother Nature, godly self itself. Meaning that the pain and the suffering that we are going through is meant to be there for us, so we remember that we are all there is, and that the suffering doesn't really matter. Because if life, if God, if love, if divine nature wants to experience itself, it must manifest and forget what it is, its source, in order to know itself. Hoping and knowing that it will liberate itself from the game that is life. In a nutshell, that is my belief and my understanding, my realization. For some of you, that will trigger something, it will hit home, it will spark interest. For others, it will excite and aggravate your mind and your identification, and that's fine. We will wait. We are all in this together. Love, awareness is your natural state, your original state. You don't have to do anything to know that. Literally, everything you do is a step away from that. And of course, I would elaborate further if there was a question, if there was a query. But yeah, I am a man who experienced the mind completely turning against me. And by the grace of God, awareness and love won. And I am here to report to you today. Peace and love, everybody.